So how often do you do this? You try to do it.
I try to practice something every single day. Those videos that are on Instagram are just clips of me doing what I said I was going to do. Clips of me saying I want a podcast. So in order to podcast, you need to sit down in front of a mic as often as possible. So I say to myself, can I hit record once a day? That's a goal I have for myself. Ready? So this is practice. It's happening right now, Ray. Right? It's happening. This is podcasting. This is it. Ready? They're your headphones. Wait till you experience this part. You ever been on the radio or anything?
No.
How's this? How's my voice?
Smooth like butter.
Now, wherever you're gonna sit, I just want you to get comfortable, and then I can adjust the mic to you.
That good?
Check.
I can hear myself a little bit.
You can hear yourself. That'll be the gauge whether if I can hear you, because I can hear the same thing you're hearing, and everybody that's listening can hear us too.
Is that better?
That's it.
All right.
Welcome back to another episode of The Leaf Show. I'm still practicing my intro though. I don't have it all locked in. I might make it look easy. This shit's hard. I'm nervous too. Consistency. We're talking about practice. We're talking about daily habits, rituals, routines. We're talking about what it is you do on a daily basis. And does what you do on a daily basis run parallel with what your goals are? If you follow me, you've heard it 100 million times. You might have been able to say it with me. We'll probably say it 10 more times or something related to it in any terms we're going to reference. I'm going to say it again. I'll probably be more excited about it. We're just trying to make it make sense. And the question always is, how did we get here? That's the first question. And I'm excited. I haven't done a Leaf Show. How did we get here in a while? How do we get here? Talking to my friend. My friend was talking, and I said, this friend knows some stuff that the people that I know could probably benefit from. I know if him and I sit down and have a conversation, we could benefit from one another. We should podcast. Okay. What time?
Let's do it.
Ray Makay, my friends. What's up, dude?
Nothing, man.
How'd you get here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
In my car.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. No horse and buggy?
No, so I don't know. I think you and I have always kind of shared a common interest in that we didn't go the traditional path of getting a job.
Right. I tried.
Of course, you get jobs here or there.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But I think that we always kind of shared that in common, that you want to start something yourself that you can control. You can control your destiny, and yeah, and that's kind of what that's what I'm here.
Did you know I had
for.
that tattooed on my chest?
Do you?
I control my destiny.
I don't have any tattoos.
No, they hurt. Don't do it. Anybody that says tattoos don't hurt, they're not telling the truth. I control my destiny. Sometimes I try to think about what I was trying to tell I was 20 years old when I did that, 21 years old. I control my destiny. I always think about, what was I thinking? I'm 35 years old.
21 years old, yeah.
What was I trying to remind myself of? And it does serve as a reminder. I control my destiny. You do control your destiny, and you can put it in any terms that you want to, but when it comes down to it, there are personal decisions for you to make, and those decisions set you up on a path of what we'll call destiny. Now, you can go to higher being and all that, respect to all that, but day to day, how you're living right now in this moment, this whatever life this is, this spiritual, your body experience, you know what I mean? It's deep. It could be deep, or it's not that deep, but you control your destiny.
And everybody has the same 24 hours in a day that you do.
Corny, cliche, the writings on the wall, all the things that you hear all the time are so true.
I mean, it is true, though.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah, I agree.
You could be Jeff Bezos. He still has to do everything within 24 hours. So you can sit there and make all the excuses you want of why you can't do this, or why it's too hard for you, or whatever. But especially in 2022, there's a million ways to do everything.
Matter of fact, it's even more now because it's actually 23.
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh boy, we just time travel. Think about it now. Think about how much we got in 2023 compared to what we had in 2022.
Oh man.
Time. What do you do with your time?
Still
That's something.
January.
That's something it's final day in January. Ready? Now, there you go. Ready? Check back in. New Year's. Remember when we was talking? Remember the video that remember when I did the Monday 52 of 52? The time is going to pass. Again, I'm just talking to myself. I'm just talking to myself, right? And I'm trying to make it make sense. What did you do with the last 30 days? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. I would love to know I'll ask that question. I'm getting better at podcasts and see how that was a segue. Now that brings me to my next question. What do you do on a daily basis that runs with parallel to your overall goals, big goals, little goals?
So to be like perfectly honest, I am going through the steps to change my habits. Um, I typically, I get up when my body gets. I usually that's like when my wife gets up like 7:30.
Right.
And I fell into kind of a bad habit to where I didn't really have a routine. You know what I mean? I woke up and, all right, well, what I got to do? I got to contact, X, Y, and Z clients. I got to do this, but there's no structure to the day whatsoever. And, a few weeks ago when you made that video, that kind of rung with me little by little. Little means a lot. So I get up and, maybe it's just, going and doing 10 push-ups real quick to get the blood flowing or whatever like that. Little by little means a lot. If I can change one habit today and then keep that habit, and then I can change one more habit tomorrow, or maybe even next week, and you build upon it, and you build upon it, all of a sudden, now you're doing the things you want to do. You're being more productive. You're being more efficient. And I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? So I'm still, still practicing.
I'm just talking to myself, and I thank you for listening, right?
Everybody's still practicing.
I'm just practicing. I just so happen to hit record.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I get caught up. You talk about self-doubt. And I think I mentioned this in our conversation. Like, I haven't figured this out, my friends. I might make this look easy, and I don't say that to be cocky, but I know I am, because you know what? I'm so disciplined. Why can you say that in that energy? It's not cocky. That's confident. I think Dion said it.
Mm-hmm.
Confident, or consistency builds confidence. And don't be offended by my confidence. It took consistency for me to be able to confidently say, I am consistent, and consistency is powerful. And consistency, when it's flowing, could look easy.
Yeah.
Mashing the snow together when it ain't ready to be mashed yet is the tough part. That's the work.
Mm-hmm.
But when that ball is rolling down the mountain, and then someone's like, wow, look how easy that's going. Like, that's just flew down the mountain. I'm flying.
Yeah.
And I'm going in a direction with intention. Where's your snowball going? What are you doing on a daily basis? And does what you do on a daily basis run parallel with what your goals are? Momentum, right? Momentum. What's a benefit of that, right? So we talked about structure of your day. Where did your day start to lead to? What do they look like now that you're a little more in the swing of things?
I just have a lot clearer picture of the things I want to get done in a day, and like checking those boxes. To me, I like checking off lists. I like seeing a task and knocking it out. And just the structure of the day to be able to, set up, just getting in a habit and getting in a routine helps me immensely. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I struggle concentrating like crazy. I lose focus like that. I don't know whether that's like just our generation. Right. I don't know. Like I feel like we struggle with more like ADHD stuff.
I'm not diagnosing myself, but I know I got a lot of tabs open often.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you're just like, see, what I used to do is like, say I'm work from home a lot during the wintertime. In the summertime, not so much because I'm caddying. But like if I wanted to get laundry done, right, I go down and I go and I gather up all, dump out the hammer, go down laundry, put the stuff in the machine, and then on my way down, I noticed that like there's a dish in the sink that needs to be cleaned. All right, I'll just get that, and then all of a sudden, then I open the fridge and and then all of a sudden, like I'm doing 17 different things and I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? And then I did all right, I got the laundry done, but I missed like 4 other things I wanted to do today because I got distracted, like on my way to do the freaking laundry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like just structuring your day and it really like makes your workflow more efficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even if you just like if during the day, lots of times I won't start my work day until about 10. But like I get a lot of time to like, I get up, I do my thing. I'll take the dog for a walk. I do my little workout or whatever. But by the time 10 and 10:30 or whatever, like I'm ready. Like, and I can commit those hours to just focusing on something.
Get up early. So wake up. On my Instagram, Coach Leaf, I practice gratitude with saying thank you as soon as I can think about it in the morning after I take care of myself. So anytime anybody that follows it, when you see thank you, because I'm just trying to make this make more sense. I'm just trying to be an example of discipline. And discipline for me looks like practicing gratitude. And can you every single day practice gratitude? Gratitude is simply just saying thank you. Now I challenge myself to say thank you publicly as early as I can think about it after I've taken care. So this one, so you gotta have priorities. There's a list when you wake up, right? What's most important for me? This breath.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. I'm not worried about working out at 7. I'm not even worried about getting to where I gotta go yet. As soon as you become conscious, can you take control? Can you start your structure? Little by little, a little becomes a lot. Break it all the way down to breath by breath. Like to even get to that list, to write that list, you need to take your breath. Yeah, that's for you. I brought that for you. Get in line. Line up. Alignment is where I was going with that, right? So it's all about alignment. Align your days to run parallel with what your goals are. We're talking to Ray Makay. Sometimes I get sidetracked. Just like that. Just talking, right? But do you take notes? Do you have structure? What are some tips, some things that keep you in line to get what you want to get done for a day? What are some tools that you use? Like we talked about list making.
So, as kind of rudimentary as it is, I had my wife print me out like she printed me out sheets of paper at her school that, to break every Sunday night, go through my tasks I want to get done for the week, go through my tasks I want to get done for the month, break them down, prioritize them, and then see which days I have things going on, you know what I mean? And kind of do it that way. So start with your short-term goals, your long-term goals, prioritize them, and then attack them that way.
Yeah. Education. What do you consume, right? So consumption is way, way more than what you watch on TV, what you put in your mouth. It's way more than what you put in your mouth, because you hear the word consumption, you think diet. As important as that is, let's be aware. Let's talk about what is it, what type of videos and what's your timeline look like? What are you searching on YouTube? What's your routine with the TV when you go in the house? What are you listening to in your headphones? Like all of that, when you start to hone in on that, where are you at in that practice? Like has the things you've watched, listened to, and say changed?
Yeah. So when I had Fat Louie's, the last few years of that, and for anybody that wants to start their own sandwich shop, I would say don't. No, no, but it was a lot of work, and it wasn't, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. So the last kind of year and a half, I really kind of made up my mind that I was going to try to figure out a way out, and from that point on, I started listening to real estate podcasts. One in particular was Bigger Pockets, which really started my interest in getting into real estate and things like that. And now I'm just obsessed with, if I can be doing something and listening to something, if listening to something can further educate me and make me better, then I view it as maximizing your time.
It's my friend. Oh, see, we got cool buttons too.
Got crickets?
Yeah.
I don't know what this says.
That's
what
exactly
I just said.
what just happened.
I literally got crickets.
That's exactly what just happened. But no, ready? Check back in. You said Fat Louie's. I'm glad you said that. We're talking about daily habits, rituals, and routines. We're talking about what it is you do on a daily basis, and we're asking the question: does what you do on a daily basis run parallel with what your goals are? Right. This is my friend Ray. Ray, talk about business, because you're family. You got family business. You just talked about the restaurant game. Is it just something that's bred in you?
Yeah. So I mean, my dad did pretty well for himself. He kind of did the traditional American dream where he spent his life savings on one trash truck, and it was a piece of junk. And long story short, he built it up, and he sold his business. He had over I think he had over almost 90 some trash trucks when he stopped. So like he literally started his business from nothing. So that was I watched that, and I kind of wanted to do something like that, even though I didn't want to particularly get into the trash business. But I saw the benefits of, kind of working for yourself and controlling your own destiny. And I've also saw a lot of the things he did that I would change, like working yourself to the point where, you don't even, that's all he knows is work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I didn't want to do that. Right. Like I didn't want my business to run my life. I wanted to enjoy my life. I wanted to be able to enjoy time with my family and things like that. So my whole plan was, hey, if I can work really hard for like 10, 15 years, then I can cash in on it and I have the rest of my life to do whatever I want. And it didn't work out like that whatsoever. Like,
right. So you saw yourself just picking up, just doing it a little differently than like
Yeah.
doing it how you would do it.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened.
No, I mean,
Sometimes things change, right? So you have to be able to pivot and adjust. So we get stuck there often. We get stuck in a pivot point. It's not the end. Like, because at the time that you're thinking about your big goals, that's, if you're serious, that's all you know.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen, that could be devastating.
Yeah.
So learning and practicing recovery and rebounding and being aware of, okay, this didn't work out the way I thought it should have worked out, or it doesn't look the way I thought it should look, but affirm to yourself, talk nice to yourself, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Everything's always working out for me. It's going to work out for me. It may not look the way I thought it was going to look, but it's working out for me.
Yeah.
And we're here. You talked real estate. That's your current business.
Currently,
What's that like? What did that take? Where are you at in that journey?
I don't know. I've been an agent for 3-4 years now. I've always had the mindset of ultimately wanting to be an investor, whether that be having rental properties or flipping houses, or there's 17 different kinds of ways you can invest in real estate. But I knew that I didn't want to be an agent forever. An agent was a gateway to get me to learn the business while making some money, so I can learn how to invest. Right. So I figured what better way to get in it than just to kind of dive in. So you learn the pitfalls, you learn what to look for, what
See the
not
good,
to
the
do.
bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. But all along, still trying to further educate yourself, listening to different podcasts, watching different videos on YouTube, and a lot of people. I feel like YouTube is still way underutilized. I mean, like, you can literally figure anything. I remodeled my house.
It's said as a joke sometimes, like, yeah, I watch it, but it's real. It's education, and it's
a lot
free.
of people think so. YouTube is not a social media platform; it's a search engine.
Right.
People go to YouTube to search for something.
How to
do this, how to do that, and you can find anything, like literally anything.
See what you see right now.
And I am the least handy person ever, but I figured out most of how we bought a house last year, and we redid pretty much most of every room, and from sanding to all that stupid stuff. I never knew how to do that. So you just, I don't know, YouTube it.
It's a tool. Use your tools.
Yeah.
Use your tools. Build, right? So what tools, we're just practicing right now, trying to make it make more sense. Ask yourself, what tools do I use on a daily basis to build my goals, right? I'm building a house. What tools do I need? I don't know what tools I need to sand. I don't know what drill I need for this, for that. Well, let's use our tools to figure out what tool we need.
Yeah, exactly.
A tool that I don't have one sitting in front of me, but my journal. I love that thing. And it's the basics, the playbook, the practice playbook. And it's about just taking inventory of what it is you actually, like, what time do you wake up? What's your relationship with snooze? What's your relationship with snooze? That's my next question.
My relationship with snooze, we have a pretty good relationship.
You're straight with her? Him? Shit? Like, you're
I know
good?
that you are firmly against snooze.
No, I'm saying the relationship. Oh, not that I'm against it. I love it. What? Snooze. We just got to spend some time away from each other sometimes.
So today I will tell you that I did not hit snooze. I got right
Big
on.
deal. Big same. And that's been months. So today's Tuesday. Monday I hit it once, and this was a conversation in my head. I'm talking. My alarm goes off at 4:25, and as soon as I recognize, like, that's the alarm, and I was like, you know what's gonna happen if you hit snooze. You know what's gonna happen if you don't hit snooze. And I was like, this is that moment for real right now. I got to make this decision right now, and I didn't talk nice enough to myself, and I hit it. And I laid there for another 8 minutes.
To me, there's something so unnatural about getting up when it's dark out. It's like the world is telling me to go back to sleep. Look at it. Look outside. Go back to sleep.
The world is screaming. The sun is screaming sleep. What are you doing? Go back to sleep.
I mean, you want to talk to me about sunrise, I'll listen, but
yeah, but that's just how my day has to be aligned, because what I this is what I do. This is what I choose to do. We walked in. He said, "You got so much energy, too much." No, I don't. I just been up. I'm so ahead. Like you said, you're 10:30. This is my 10:30. Yeah. I'm already my day. If I haven't written down, thought about, started to do what I'm going to do today at 8:30 right now in this moment, That's on a list for another day.
Yeah.
What I'm doing today was written down 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Sunday things. So important. Sunday things, plan your weeks on Sunday. Something I said or something I did Sunday is going to benefit me today, and something that I'm doing today is because I said I was going to do it. I said I was going to talk to my friend in front of microphones on Tuesday at 8 a.m. This is old work.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to.
This is old work. You talk about energy. I'm here right now, but I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and being right where you're supposed to be makes you giggle, laugh, and smile, and I love it. I love it. 5 o'clock. I wake up early because I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I'm just practicing. You play golf. You mentioned caddying. How'd you get into that's baseball? Baseball. Ray Makay. I want him on my team. If I was picking teams. As a kid, me and you grew up together. I know Ray Makay is one of the guys I'm going to try to get him at least. I like him. Bring him to my team, right? Golf. I played golf with you a couple of times. You're a caddy. So what I'm saying is he's a hell of an athlete, and not just naturally. Any athlete, it takes more than athletic ability to be a good athlete, and that might not make sense, but let's try to make that make sense. I want him on my team for his attributes, what he brings to the table. I want to golf with him because he knows how to golf. He teaches why surround yourself. And as an athlete, what are the similarities in sports, even though they're two completely different sports?
Like sports and business,
or just everything. How being an athlete? We'll go there. Translate into now.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I mean, everybody has a dream of, if you grow up liking sports, you always had to train to become like a professional athlete.
So you did what? Played the sport.
Right. Practiced all the time. Practiced in the off season. It turns out, that's genetically that wasn't in the cards for me.
But you played a lot of baseball.
I did.
You played other seasons than I did.
Yeah.
So you was in it.
Yeah. Played into college. And then I picked up golf when I was in college, and I got really good at that pretty quickly. And I was 21, and you realize at that point if you
started playing golf at 21.
Yeah, wow, your playing career for baseball is pretty much over at 21.
See, just the way you came in here and said you got all this energy in the morning. The first time I ever played with you was probably something to do with effort.
Yeah,
and I don't think that was until I was 30 plus.
Yeah,
and I'm like, how are you doing that?
I wish I started earlier though. Like, even at 20.
I wish we should have been on the golf. Why was the golf team not the coolest team in the school?
That's why I said I used to make fun. I used to like, the golf team.
Did not understand. What? How's that not the coolest? We gotta change the game, man. We gotta get Defford's golf team on the mat. We need to get the athletes on the course.
I'll drop my number for lessons if anybody wants it. No. So, I mean, honestly, it's just the competitive thing. Like, if you want to be good at anything, like I've always, no matter what sport I played, I always tried to be the best that I could be. And it sounds kind of, whatever, it's cliche and corny or whatever. But whether or not that pans out, like sometimes you're just not good enough. Like baseball, I just wasn't good enough. Like, short, slow, not enough, whatever it is, you can practice all you want, but, you can't just throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball if you can't do it.
Or you just can't. You're not fast enough to score touchdowns past the level that you score touchdowns at. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But what you can do is you can take that same mentality to it and apply it to something else. And that's when I started getting good at golf, I figured, well, at least I could be, pretty good at this. And honestly, my motivation in the beginning, as far as getting good at that, was just to try to beat all my friends. And then once I got to that level, then I started playing with people that were better than me, and then I was like, all right, well, now I need to play with these guys. So you're constantly
leveling up.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah, and to be honest, like the golfing and like I caddy part-time now, but I mean, honestly, I love caddying. I'll do that whether I'm making, $40,000 a year or $400,000 a year. I'm going to caddy 2-3 days a week because I love it.
I've golfed for a few years now, 2-3 times, 5 times a lot in a year. Caddy, never played with a caddy of mine. What's the main responsibilities of a caddy?
So you carry 2 bags. There's 4 golfers in a group, and there's 2 caddies. So each caddy carries 2 bags, and you guys work as a team. to kind of get your golfers around the course. Now, like
2-on-2, and so you're like the teams.
No. So it's just random 4 guys. Me, you, Bittner. Was that Bittner?
Right.
No, me, you,
and Harper.
Bittner and Harper, right? And then we got 2 caddies. So my caddy, some guy will take my bag and your bag, and then some other guy will take those 2 bags.
Right.
And then it's just about like moving them around the course. Like you're not. It's not like on the tour where you're just trying to get them to win or whatever.
Right.
Really, you're more there for service.
Right.
But
so you're the expert on the course.
You're the expert on the course.
You let them know this usually lays like this.
Well, yeah. So the main responsibility is to one, keep the clubs clean. So every time they hand you a club back, you gotta clean it, put it back in the bag. But more importantly is you're figuring out distances, you're figuring out wind direction, you're figuring out where to miss.
So they would call like how far from here to the pin, and you were confirming that, let them know what the course looks like coming up, right?
Let's just say 150 yards, something simple. But it's not that simple because especially at like nicer courses like the one that I work at, like there's a lot of undulation, there's a lot of hills. 150, like there's particular hole number 17, right? Lots of times guys are like 140 yards out, and even though it's 140, it's like 4 degrees uphill, so it's going to really play like 155, and you can't miss short. So you're rather be long. What's the wind doing? Is the wind coming into us? Is the wind behind us? Where's the pin on the green? Is the pin towards the front? Do I have more room to miss behind it, or is the pin in the back where I have more room to miss in front of it and still land on the green? Like there's a lot that goes into your factoring and all kinds of math. You know what I mean? Like if the shot's 180 yards downhill, they want to know whether it's going to play like 155 or 160, even though it's 180 because it's downhill.
Right.
So it's gonna go longer.
And that matters.
It matters
a lot.
And you're trying to have and all that, but you have to maintain a fun relationship with these people. Like you can't. It can't be all business. You got to talk about anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? From business to whatever.
That's cool. You got to be relatable.
Yeah, you got to be relatable. And I always kind of say that caddies are kind of like strippers, where our goal was to make sure the guys have as much fun as possible. But we're still trying to pull money out, and we're still trying to get a good tip.
Right.
We're trying to
service. You said it. That's it. It's a service business.
It's a service business. So if there's a minimum or whatever, if I can get above that minimum, I'm gonna get more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's cool. And you build relationships.
That's
really cool.
Absolutely.
Networking, so important, and the golf is a great tool for networking.
And I like it because I can be myself and break people's balls. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. What's the best golfer you've been around or caddied for? Best score, whatever it might be. Dopest course. Where's golf taking you as far as traveling?
I've been pretty lucky because I started caddying. I started to know be around a lot of wealthy people that were members at all these different places. Like my wife and I went to Hawaii for our honeymoon a couple of years ago, and like literally like 3 weeks before we left, I caddied for a guy that was a member at the Olympic Club in San Francisco, and I knew that we were going to San Francisco on our way out to Hawaii.
Right.
So I was just like, I just threw it out there. After I was vibing with him, I was like, hey, my wife and I are going to Hawaii. We're stopping in San Francisco. It'd be great if I can get on Olympic. He was like, sure.
Let's go.
Yeah, he gave me his email.
Come see me. I'll take care of you.
That's exactly.
You ain't about anything.
I didn't even pay for anything, and that's not what I was looking for.
Right,
but I didn't even. You know what I mean? Like
cool.
it was 3 weeks before we left.
That's cool. That's cool.
But what was your original question? I
forget. Where is it taking you? And that exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
The aspect of constantly leveling up. Like you said, I learned to play just to beat my friends. And I started beating my friends. I started playing with people that were better than me. And now you just leveling up. And when you level up, you experience and reap the benefit. Like you said, it's not the intention, it's not the goal, but that's what comes with being where you are. I'm right where I'm supposed to. You're right where you're supposed to be. Therefore, you could have that conversation.
Yeah, and the same thing with caddying. Like I started I actually got lucky. I started at a pretty good course, but I used that course to parlay it into a course that was even better and closer to my house. Yeah. So like I'm literally at the #1 course in the entire world right now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, to me, that's cool. Other people don't care. I don't care if they care. I think it's cool.
It's your niche. It's you. And that you have to stop worry about what everybody cares about. You worried about, so now I'm just talking to myself. You worried about if you're getting on somebody's nerves. Now this is the fight. Keep posting all these. He's still posting them videos. Leaf's still doing that. You still doing that? Oh, I seen you. You still do that? It's also somebody that says unfollow, 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 unfollow. I'm telling you to share my personal. This is my therapy. There's been a period of time we're on the upswing right now with the Coach Leaf page, and in order to build anything, it takes consistency, but it's exhausting when you're doing something and you don't see any results, even experiencing negative results. Mm-hmm. Now, every time you post, I lose like 3 followers. Clearly, no one cares. Now, that's just feeding that voice, that demon voice. And if your inner voice and the way you talk to yourself isn't strong enough, that's procrastination. That's the delay of the game. That's where you don't actually do what you want to do. You stay where you're not happy, whatever it might be, because that voice, you let it get too loud. I mean, and it's not that you let it, because it's not like it's decision points, because it's going to happen. That voice is going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of when you become aware of that voice and what you do from that point on. And it's easy to just feed it. Yeah. It's sometimes natural to feed it. Yeah.
And there's certain aspects of your life where you have a natural confidence, and there's certain aspects of life where you're outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
Like, to me, when I'm out there on the golf course or caddying or whatever, I am in my comfort zone. I can be caddying. It doesn't matter whether I'm caddying for like Larry Fitzgerald or, Joe Schmo. I'm confident because I know what I'm doing, and I know that, like, no matter what he or she says, like, I know what the hell I'm doing. But in other aspects of life, especially when you're starting something new, or right, you're kind of in uncharted waters, that first little bit of questioning, you're like, oh shit, right, like maybe I should not do this. Maybe I should step back. Right. Or, you know what I mean? No, hold on. I got to figure out the perfect plan. I got to analyze this. And then you do the analysis by paralysis, and then you don't do anything. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I am just starting my YouTube journey as far as I want to, post consistently, show people how to, kind of maximize their money and things like that. And I haven't even posted my first video yet. I kind of just got my equipment a couple weeks ago, and I've been, working on what I want to do and kind of how I want to structure. Yeah, exactly.
No,
exactly.
Time out.
I'm not doing it.
What are you talking about? It's happening right now. We're not doing that. We're not doing that here. Right now. We're going to practice live right now. Write it down. 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 Look, I need this. I need that. I need this. I know, because I did it. I'm doing it right now. He walked in. This is a cool studio. This shit ain't always look like this. I was talking into my phone, but it took so long. It took so much for me just to start talking into my phone. It took so much. I talked myself out of, how many times I start, even doing today, record something 100 times, because in that moment, I don't think that's what it is, or if it's right, or if it's good enough. My friend Aaron is here. We're talking about, guess what we're talking about? We're talking about practice. We're talking about what it is you do on a daily basis. We're talking about what it is you do on a daily basis, and does what you do on a daily basis run parallel with what your goals are. Who am I? I'm Coach Leaf, your accountability coach. I'm that little voice in your head. I'm just a reminder. I can't do it for you. And this is the practice playbook, right? Today's date, take inventory of what's going on, right? Setting goals and then making them happen. Doing things on a daily basis that run parallel with what your goals are. Line your days up, and this is how you line your day up. You write things down. Everything we just been talking about it. This is my friend. We grew up together. He knows me. I know him, and he's got a goal. And guess what you got to do to reach that goal? What? Tell me. This is cool. Grab that mic.
I put this one right here.
Boom. You've experienced the practice playbook. I think you're off. There you go. You've experienced the practice playbook. And the practice playbook is, if we have a goal of being on YouTube, right? So write that down. There's step one. Write it down. Write it down. Before all that, however you fill this, so that you fill this out on a daily basis, and it's taking account of the date, times you wake up, and we talked about the relationship with snooze. Did you hit snooze? Yes or no? Circle it. Just, even if you did, don't shame yourself. Yes, I did today. It's okay. An event at the end of the day, we'll evaluate. Did I like what happened when I hit snooze? I didn't like that. So maybe your next goal is not to hit snooze tomorrow, right? Gratitude, attitude of gratitude. We talked about that. Thank you, 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 thank you. Simply saying those words. I'm telling you right now, coach, you talk about gratitude. Oh, I'm not grateful. If you're not grateful and you want to be grateful, this is the play. This is how you do it. You say, thank you. Imagine if you wrote down 3 things that you were grateful for. You would probably expand your gratitude because now, just said thank you. Just say thank you. Just say thank you. All right, I said thank you. Now what?
I don't have anything to be thankful for.
Well, write it down in the practice playbook. Write it down. Find something. Thank you for what?
That I opened my eyes this morning.
Oh, thank you for that breath. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. When I wake up, thank you for that breath. Right? Take control of the conversation as soon as possible. And then talk nice to yourself. I am affirmations. I am what? You define it.
I'm strong.
I'm what? I'm strong. I said it. Now I'm impeccable with my word, right? I'm strong. Now I had to do things that align with being strong. What is that? Well, I probably got to move.
Show up.
I
Put my shoes on.
probably got to squat today. I got to put my shoes on. I got to get up. 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 Talk nice to yourself. Talk yourself. I can, I will, I am. I can, I will, I am. And then set goals. Daily goals. Set goals daily. No matter how big or how small. What's a goal that you tell the people your experience with the practice playbook and how it helped you achieve one of your goals?
So I'm a photographer. I own a photography business, and I had an in-home studio for a couple years, and I wanted a regular studio. And I always wanted one, but I was like, I don't know, it's too much to think about. So I started writing in there, like, what do I want? I want a photography studio. And I had to write in what I got to do to do that. And talk to a realtor or look for listings or whatever. And just writing it every day and keeping it in the forefront of my mind was like, oh, I can't forget about that. So anytime I sit down to do nothing, I'm like, oh, well, I can look at listings right now. Yeah. And in 3 months, less than 3 months, because it was before the thing was filled out, right? It wasn't completed. I didn't finish my book.
Right. Well, count the pages. Count the pages in there, and
yeah.
that's
how
many.
There's 3. I think there might be a month. It might even be a month.
I think it's a little over 60.
Maybe I had 2 of them.
Pages,
it was like 2 months. Then I had a studio, and it was wild. And I know that doesn't, like, anybody could do that, but not really, I guess. And everything just aligned. It was the first place I looked.
Well, here's the thing: how many people out there had set out to do what you wanted to do?
Or how many times have I said that to myself? I've said I want a studio so many times,
right.
And I didn't do it.
Right.
And then I did it, and everything just aligned perfectly.
Because you did one thing on that day. The day that you decided to write it down.
Well, then I was talking to Lindsay. I was just here, and I was like, anybody know a realtor? And she's like, I'm one. And I was like, oh, okay.
Guess what? He is too.
Oh, okay. So then I met with Lindsay, and then we looked at places. We went to one day. We looked at 2 places. The one place was really creepy. The second place, it was it, and that was it. And then I was done. And it was so cool. Yeah.
Forefront of your mind. Keep your goals, your desires, your wants. Keep them in the forefront of your mind. And this
Say
is just
out loud.
This is a tool. Write them down. It becomes so much more real. All right. So whatever you're thinking about, when you say it, it becomes a little more real. When you write it down, it becomes more real because you said it and you wrote it down. Now you said it, wrote it down, and now I'm going to do something today that runs parallel with the things I just thought, the thing I just said, and the thing I just wrote down. And I'm going to take an action step to complete that. And now you're rolling.
It makes it feel more real.
Yeah,
It's a pretty cool book, man.
Yeah.
You signed all this yourself?
Yeah, did that. I only signed it once, and then I copied it all the way and just
He
put
said designed,
I did do that.
not signed.
Oh,
designed.
Well, I did that too. That's how I designed it. I signed my name.
You signed it, and then it was created.
That was a goal. That was an idea, and you witnessed it happen on live. Someone said you should do a journal. Oh, you know what? By golly, you're right. I should do a journal. Well, how do you do that? And then boom, now it's sitting in Ray Makay's hands. That's for you. And what you just said, hold yourself accountable. Here's your reminder. I can't do it for you, Ray. I can't. Like, you bought the mics, you bought the light, you're buying all these things. You're finding every reason. Yes, that has to happen. That will happen. Post a video. It has to happen.
And you're gonna have to post a video, and nobody's gonna watch it for a long time.
Absolutely.
And then one day, it's just gonna be like. And then after that, nobody's going to watch the next ones after that either. And then it'll eventually, like, you're going to feel like, damn, I got to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
Ask
it.
Ryan, look at his views on Reels.
Don't make sense. And we've been in that conversation. It messes with your head. Consistency is not easy. It's not easy. Don't get it twisted. don't get it twisted. It's not
And
easy.
then you're like, am I the crazy one?
And it's easy. It's fun to talk about when we're sitting around. It's when you are, whatever. When you're in it, when it's happening. That's the discipline. That's the part. That's where you need to make good choices.
Because that motivation's gone by then.
Motivation is
gone by then.
I can't do it for you. I'm just a motivation. I'm just a reminder. I can't do it for you. We're gonna break. We're gonna break from here. You're gonna go home. You're gonna be riding. You're gonna reflect. You're gonna. Did you do what you said you were gonna do? Right. Hold yourself accountable. I do want to get into real estate. I do want anyone that needs help. I myself need and want more understanding. And of course, what happens? You surround yourself with people that are aligned with you and educate us a little bit real fast on your personal business. How can people contact you, Ray? And I do have some real questions that I would love answers to.
Yeah, like how can I make some money off of property?
Here we go.
So shit,
Check out his
that's all I
YouTube.
wanna do.
He's got a YouTube page.
I got a YouTube channel.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you.
It happening. It happens just like that.
So, no, I'm kind of, you're helping me through the motivation part. So if I can help you through, kind of the X's and O's of real estate, then I feel like that's a pretty reciprocal, healthy relationship.
Now, don't let it turn into I'll come work out for swinging lessons. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. It must not align somewhere for either one of us together as a unit or one of us as an individual. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But that is something you want to be better at fitness. I got a guy. He was my friend. Let me leave. I'm going to go over there. Yo, I'm trying to get better at golf. I got a guy, my friend. Exchange art. Let's surround it. Don't let that be the case.
Yeah.
Let's not make that be the case. You know what I mean?
It actually became a joke between us every year.
And we get together for the last
Once a year in
once a
April.
year for the past 3 years, I believe. And it's like, hey, remember we didn't do that once this year. But we're here right now, and
you guys probably didn't write them down. You didn't write it down.
we didn't write it down. It was a great idea. It was probably a couple beers later too. But the market right now, we're in a crazy. Look, it's a different time. It's the only time I know. But what's going on out there in that market? What are some suggestions?
What's it a good time to do?
Buy a house.
At any time. I've heard that so many times, right? So let's make that like real estate is real estate.
What are your questions?
I'm saying real estate is real estate. So there's no bad buy. It's just is there a bad time? Is there a bad buying price?
There's times that are better than others.
Right. Where are we in that
It
scale?
depends on how much, what your level of desperation might be.
Yeah, I mean,
It's all individual
is-
based.
so if I start to ramble, you can stop. Because this is like
I think I'm rambling right now. And I'm not even giving you a chance to answer any questions.
We know the answer.
So you see, everything you see is housing bubble. When
Fear-mongering.
the next crash coming. Is it going to be like 2008? You know what I mean? One, it's not going to be like 2008.
It can't be because it's 2023.
Exactly. No, I studied 2008 a lot. I became like obsessed with 2008 because it.
As you should,
If
I
you
think.
knew all the ingredients that went into it, it was like a perfect shit storm.
Right.
We have about 10 minutes.
I think.
Probably.
So
Headphones. Oh, that might not turn on. I just prevented a whole crash. We're talking about market crashes. This studio almost crashed.
2008 was a complete shitstorm of a lot of different factors that led to that. One of them was Wall Street, recklessly trading, and they didn't care because they were making a ton of money. What they were trading was a bad product. It was basically mortgages that were subprime, which means people that weren't well qualified to get a mortgage and to get a house were getting qualified like crazy.
Right.
What led to that is in 2003, 4, 5, and 6, they built a lot of houses. They built a lot of new construction. And then for some reason, here's the crazy part. Average age of a person that buys their first house is 33 years old, right? So in 2006, there was a significant drop. They built up all these houses in 03, 04, 05, 06, and they had all these new houses and nobody to own them, right? And everybody's like, well, what happened?
Where's the 33-year-olds
Where's
go?
33-year-olds, right? So in 2006, how old is a 33-year-old? I mean, sorry, what year was it? In 2006, if a guy's 33 or a girl's 33, what year were they born?
Seven. I don't know.
You're getting it.
70.
73.
Okay, I was gonna say
73, right? So what's crazy is
Damn.
in 72,
That wasn't even that long ago, but those people were born in the 70s. That makes me feel old.
right before that, that was the Roe versus Wade. The abortion became legal. So there was a significant drop off in births from before 72 to 73. But you could look at the graph. The birth rate goes like this. It takes a dip,
Right.
and then it comes back up.
Right.
But the problem is they had all these houses and they didn't have anybody to buy
That
them.
age group.
So they were like,
Perfect.
"Oh, let's just unload these and we'll just start we'll undo the regulations on who can get a mortgage, and we are just gonna
That's what. Okay.
we need to get rid of these houses."
Okay.
So then they were qualifying people that couldn't afford rates and like really predatory, like 27% interest rates. A lot of people
That's
in
insane.
Georgia, like a lot of
They wind up foreclosing and everything.
in lower income communities, people got taken advantage of on adjustable rate mortgages. Like
Right.
it was a mess. But I mean that's a long time
Is
ago.
there like a code of ethics in
Yeah, there's lots of codes of
and
ethics.
like
But
nobody cared. They just
well,
wanted
I
to-
mean, you know, if there's not a specific rule for it in place at that
Then they
time,
can't-
then they're
then
going to
they're-
get around it.
okay.
And there are different rules in place now
Yeah.
than there were then. But I mean, everybody's, you know, right now it's kind of a stalemate. We've seen like a crazy appreciation in the past 3 years.
What does that mean? Appreciation.
The value's going up.
The value of the home, right?
Value
So the
of-
price point is higher.
Yes. Basically, why that is because there's very little inventory. In a given, like in a quote unquote healthy real estate market, in a given time on a given day, there's about 3 million homes for sale across the country.
Okay.
Right now, there's 970,000 homes for sale across the country, and 300,000 of them are under contract.
Holy cow!
So,
I really should just sell my house, man.
so there's not much building going on because materials are expensive. So if you're a builder, are you gonna build houses when materials
So
are
what
expensive?
is this setting us up for? So we know how we got to 2008, right? What do you think the trajectory?
There's no risk. There's no risk of something like that happening again. So
Right.
when you see the media say like, "Is this going to be like?" It's not.
Right.
It's
So
all the fundamentals aren't there.
Are there time periods when this scenario existed in the past?
Appreciation like this?
Right.
No. But the thing is, the low inventory is going to keep prices high for the next. I would say for the next probably 10 years because it's going to take a long time to
I
build.
got time to sell my
Right.
house.
The only thing that fluctuates is the interest rates. And interest rates are high right now, which sucks.
Right.
But like I bought my house in 2021 October. We got a 3% interest rate.
What's high and what's okay? Well, I guess there's new highs. What's a new average? What's a new regular? What can we expect?
So here's how much of an interest rate will impact your mortgage. So we bought at a 3% interest rate, and let's just say my mortgage is $2,000. It's not $2,000, but it's close.
Right.
If we bought right now the same house, same price, same everything with a 6.5% interest rate, which is now, our payment per month would be about $850 a month higher
Okay. All right. So
than it was.
high interest rate gets you a higher payment during the month to month. Low interest rate gets you
Lower payments.
lower payments.
And you can qualify for more house.
But the house,
Right.
which we'll say that part.
So an interest rate goes into your monthly payment, right? Your monthly payment and your debt to income ratio determines on what you can afford.
Yes.
So if your payment's lower, you can afford more house. So like,
So they jack up the.
If the interest
are
rate's
they-
lower, your payment's lower, so then you can afford to buy a bigger house because you have more money to
interest rate
spend.
is lower.
And your,
Your
payment's
lower. Therefore,
Oh,
you
you're
can
like, oh, well, it's only going to be $1,200.
So-
Well, I can afford
so
15.
now you-
so let's
so
thi-
that's the difference in somebody being able to afford. Maybe like in 2021, somebody could have got approved for let's say they made 50 grand a year, and in 2021 they got approved for a $350,000 house. If that same person making 50 grand a year now, or even 55 grand a year, say they got a raise, that same person with those interest rates now is only going to qualify for like a $280,000 property
wild.
just because of interest rates.
And so they're going to qualify for less, and the prices are still high, so they're getting less home for what?
Exactly.
Okay.
But the good thing is, if interest rates go lower, you can always you can refinance an unlimited amount of times. With a refinance,
So that's why it's get in the game, because this can be adjusted.
at any time,
At
and
some
they
point.
could continue if you don't buy it. If
It
you're
better
standing
benefit you.
if you're standing on the sidelines now, you're like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to wait for interest rates to go down. And it's like, well, what if they don't?
Right.
then you
All this wasted time with
or they don't.
equity
Even
too,
if they come
right?
down, they just don't come down to where.
yeah. And if you buy now and they go lower, you can refinance and get the lower payment. If you buy now and they go higher, then you're gonna be glad you bought now.
Yes.
It's
So
like
just buy a
literally,
house now.
it's literally like
that makes sense.
So-
I hear you.
And here's another thing. People worry about like, how can I, what if I can't afford it? You know, how am I going to, come up with $2,000 a month to pay a mortgage? Like, well, whatever you're paying in rent, I'm sure is pretty comparable, if not more. But when you pay a mortgage payment, it's made up of principal and interest, right? Well, let's just think about this. Who makes the money off the interest?
The bank.
Okay.
Right.
And then what's left? The principal, right?
Yeah. So
Where
just
does
pay more on that.
where does the principal go?
To your
Principal
house.
goes down.
To your house, right?
The-
Or to the loan. To the
Yeah.
loan.
The principal goes basically into your savings account because you're putting it into your house, which you will then be able to resell.
Right.
And houses appreciate about 4.5% year over year typically. So that means if you bought a house for $100,000 now in 15 years, 200,000 now in 15 years, that house will probably be worth about $386,000. So you literally you're putting money. It's a forced savings account.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll never go broke as long as even if you're struggling to make your payments, it's worth it because you're
still
putting
not
that money-
broke.
You're still not broke.
Right.
You can always if you have $100,000 in equity in your house, you can pull that out. You can pull $70,000 out because they'll always give you like 80% of your equity.
And reset. Come up with a new plan.
And then you can pull that money out if you need it for something. If you have a big project you want to do, or like God forbid you just need it, you're in a bad spot and you need to pull money out of your house.
But that's insurance that's what you got when you got the.
That's-
That's what you game plan for. That's part of the plan.
and it's appreciating at 4.5%. So, in 15 years, that thing that you bought for 200, now you can sell it for 387.
I don't even know what my interest rate is because whatever. I don't. But my house I got in 2015 for like 105 and I can sell it now for like 185 and it's insane. I got it. It was basically an estate sale. So the guy was just trying to get rid of it, but I was like, this is cool. So I wonder how much more it would be in another 5 years.
My wife's a teacher, and they had somebody come to their school last week about life insurance, and we're all at the age now where it's like we actually got to start thinking about that kind of stuff. And she's like, "Do you think we should get life insurance?" And for me, I said no. Only because I feel like
You can use your life insurance money while you're alive. I just found this out.
okay,
Yes. Like it's not for after you die.
It's the second time I heard
Really?
that.
Yes.
That's the second time I heard
I
that.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
But so
Talk me.
she said, why are other people getting life insurance? So my thing is, if I can, an average life insurance payout in America right now is like $150,000 to $180,000. So what it is if two people are making money and one of them dies, it's a payout to the other person that they can to kind of ease that financial burden for a few years. Now, how long is like 180 grand gonna survive? Maybe 3 years. That's like if
Might as well
that.
just sell the house and get an apartment when you're alone.
So my plan is
Take that money. There's 150,000.
imagine if you had, even if you just had one or two rental properties that you were, even if you were only making $300 a month off them after mortgages paid and if you have a tenant who's paying you rent, what are they doing? They're paying your savings account into that house, right? So now, if something happened to me or something happened to you, if I have 3 rental properties or 4 rental properties or 25 rental properties, and I die, she not only gets the income off of those rental properties that's still going to come in after I die, but she can also sell them or sell one if she needs to for
Probably
200
equaling
grand.
more than 100
200 grand.
the average payout.
Sure.
So why am I going to pay $40 or $50 a month for life insurance when I can go acquire a rental property, which it's...
But you said that that money's only going to last for 3 years, so then you're just going to give your wife 3 years? You couldn't get the
If
life
the
insurance
insurance
and then
part-
get her 6 years.
So do both, double down.
Double dip.
Yeah.
Poor lady, after 6 years, she's going to be like, what do I do?
She's gonna hear that now. You got a point against
No,
you,
no,
right?
I mean,
I think classic.
I plan on
Yeah.
having at least 10, so that should get her over for a little while.
Yeah.
But
And there's ways to set that up as far as estates and all that. Like it's very
and,
important.
I mean, honestly, the thing about real estate is owning real estate and being successful. As far as setting yourself up, it's very simple. Okay, it's not easy. There's a difference between simple and easy. Doing 100 push-ups is simple. I can watch you do 100 push-ups, but if I don't practice it, it's not going to be
do
easy.
it. You gotta do it.
Simple, not easy.
Right.
Which is like most things in life. You know what I mean? Simple, Not
And
so
we got
much
YouTube.
easy. You got to put in the work. And that's where, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I've had some successes so far. I've had some, some deals that fell through, but that's what we're doing. We're
Just practice.
going through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can set yourself up, you see all these commercials like, oh, flip houses with other people's money, rent. It's 100% accurate. It's not a scam, but those things are scams because they're trying to get you to take their class. They're going to sign you up
before
for
you
another
even
class.
get to.
They're gonna pull $25,000 worth of coaching out of you before you do anything.
Right.
But on YouTube, how much does YouTube cost?
Right.
That's free.
Right.
You can find anything on YouTube.
Right.
So YouTube, check out my YouTube channel for real estate investing tips.
There we go. How can we reach you, Sir Ray Makay? Email, socials. Learn how to say that. That should roll off your tongue.
Yeah.
Be so confident in that I have a YouTube channel that when you speak to somebody, in conversation on the course, hey, when you get some time, check out my page.
Yeah.
Build your catalog, man.
At
Your catalog.
Instagram, I am rmac0287. I don't have the YouTube channel set up yet.
Okay. It's coming.
It is coming.
It's coming.
But no, I would love, if we came on, if I came on, whatever, once a month, once every other month, once a quarter, and just I haven't even gotten into a tiny bit of the tip of the iceberg of how I can help normal people take small steps to set themselves up for the future. And kind of ways that, nobody talks about because it's not sexy. It's not popular. It's not getting a 500,000 followers on Instagram and all that stuff. It's boring, but boring businesses work.
Yeah.
When is the last time you seen laundromats go out of business?
Right.
Car washes.
Right. And they're collecting quarters.
Houses, they're boring. They just sit there. And they're a little bit of work to do, but it's worth it.
And my friends, you just witnessed Ray Makay record his intro to his YouTube channel and his podcast. Because watch how easy this is. What we just did, we just put in the work. This is the first video on your YouTube channel. The work has been done.
There you go.
The work has been done. Watch the clips we can find in the last 40 seconds that you just spoke confidently. Because you've done the work.
Yeah.
Do the work, my friends. I'm Coach Leaf, your accountability coach. I'm that little voice in your head. I'm just a reminder. I can't do it for you. I'm going to keep reminding you. I'm going to keep popping up. I'm glad I popped up on you. That got us here. And I think...
Actually, you popped up on me. The little by little. That rings in my head every morning. Little by little.
Little by little, little becomes a lot. Say it to yourself right now. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. That's that. I love y'all. Until next time. That was podcasting.
There you go. How do you think it went?
That was it. Did you feel the energy? I mean, that was fucking cool. And you got a podcast too. I'm telling you, start a podcast.
Think so?
Start a podcast. Start talking.
What do you broadcast your podcast on?
It's called Anchor right now. I know there's a better way to do it. There's a better way to monitor. There's a better.
Sean Connors is on Spotify. He's doing a Phillies
Anchor
podcast.
gets you on everything. So I record, I upload to Anchor. Anchor distributes. Now I know there's business behind podcasting because once it comes up, once you blow up, you want to have rights to all this, and there's ways to set your podcast up to have all those rights. But I'm telling you, we'll handle that problem when we get there. Anchor. I'm telling you, I already made it, man. I'm gonna send you a clip to start. I'll do that work.